Good, hold good, and Raiders in, Chargers out, Steelers in.
Welcome in, Raider Nation. Amber Theoharis along with James Jones. The last time these two teams met, it was Week 18, and that sealed the deal as the Raiders went to the playoffs. The Chargers went home, but now they meet again on Sunday in Week 1. James, hey, it's good to be with you and Raider Nation. We're new to this.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Silver and Black.
We got our silver and black on. We're ready to go. It's going to be a fun year.
No, I'm looking forward to it. And perhaps some of the biggest changes is what people will be focused on in this matchup. Both of these teams will be a little bit different looking on Sunday, and most notably for the Raiders, they got a new head coach in Josh McDaniels. And this is a guy that had an opportunity to head coach elsewhere after he left the Denver Broncos. You remember he turned down the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah. He wanted to be in Las Vegas. Do you think that could be one of the major key additions to the Raiders?
Oh,
not just players.
Absolutely. You're talking about a big-time head coach, and Josh is not crazy now. Josh knows that I got a franchise quarterback. I got 2 franchise pass rushers. I have a really good football team. I'm coming into a really good situation. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring. I got a chance to watch him in training camp a little bit to see what he's got going on that offensive side of the ball. Raider Nation, y'all going to be really, really happy with what you see.
All right, well, Davante Adams was the name that stuck out on that list. They also added the pass rusher, Chandler Jones. We're going to talk about him as well. But everybody's talking about Davante Adams. He's on the cover of ESPN, the magazine. Yeah. He wanted to come here and play with his old Fresno State partner, Derek Carr. How much more dangerous does this make a team that was already a playoff team?
Well, you're talking about the baddest man on the planet in Davante Adams at the wide receiver position. That's just what he brings. He makes the team better. Not just the quarterback, he makes the whole team better. I mean, right when you break the huddle, Davante Adams is open. And you talk about 2 guys that, even though Davante Adams was with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, these 2 dudes work together in the offseason, still through with each other. They're really good friends. I'm extremely happy for both of them that they got a chance to play with each other and made this thing happen. I think you're going to see great chemistry from the start.
And maybe they got a little break. They might get a little bit of a break because J.C. Jackson, who of course is the new cornerback for the Chargers, came over from the Patriots, an all-pro corner. He's listed as doubtful for the game after practice on Friday. He has that ankle injury. Without him out there, Davante might go off, but you can't sleep on the secondary. With the Chargers, they got some other dogs out there.
J.C. Jackson, he probably happy that he out of this one right here because he don't want to buckle him up against 1-7. No, but you're talking about a really good defense. I mean, you talk about Asante Samuel, who's at that corner spot. Obviously, we know Derwin James is a bad man, arguably the best safety in football. They have a really good secondary to go with a really good pass rush, but it ain't too many people that's saying, I can't wait to see 1-7. I think they trying to duck in the back a little bit.
Yeah, so Michael Davis probably filling in for J.C. Jackson. Derwin James is back there. He gave Hunter Renfrow a lot of respect on the Pivot podcast, by the way.
You should.
He said you should be looking out for him. All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from the man himself. Davante Adams sits down with our own James Jones coming up next right here on the Silver and Black Show. The Silver and Black Show is brought to you by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now only at Allegiant.com. 1800, the best taste in tequila and official partner of the Raiders.
I'm here with my dude, DA17. How I feel, bro? How I feel to be a Las Vegas Raider? I was about to say Oakland Raider because I was an Oakland Raider. But how I feel to be a Las Vegas Raider, man?
Feel great, man. I've been having a great time here with my new teammates, my new squad so far. So been cool, man. Been enjoying Josh and his staff. It's a real fun atmosphere. Yeah, it's been good, man. Just trying to gel with these guys.
Speaking of Josh, I'm watching y'all out there on the football field. Y'all running routes I ain't never seen. Just talk to us a little bit about the offense and the freedom he giving you.
Yeah, me in particular, he's giving me a lot of freedom to be me within the offense. But like you said, it's a lot of routes that I never even ran before. That's, different concepts, and it's just a whole new feel. It's a pretty complex offense for sure. It's one of those probably the most complex one I've ever been a part of. But it's good because it allows me to be able to move around. Obviously, playing a slot, be outside, motions and things like that. that's not giving anything away because that's you've seen it in the past from just different bodies that had the opportunity to do that. So, but I love how open Josh has been to my feedback of the way that I like to run certain routes, and same with Hunter and Darren and all the guys really. So it's been good. I'm kind of finding a new me within this offense because I'm able to I've been able to do what I've done in the past, but able to put my own little flavor on a couple of these routes and make some plays. So we're gonna see how it goes.
Now, we both from the Bay Area. Now, we both play for the Green Bay Packers. When I came to the Oakland Raiders, the first time I put on that uniform, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
It just was a different feel. You haven't had a chance to play a real game yet, but you had a chance to get out there, put your uniform on for a preseason game. What did it feel like the first time you put that uniform on? Compared to a Packers uniform? Because it's a different feel.
It's a different feel, man. It's a different feel. And me, I stay in the black anyway. So that it kind of just feel natural to me, man. And like we talked about, I've talked about with everybody at this point is I grew up a Raiders fan, so I've been wearing the colors growing up and never got a chance to put that jersey and the pads on though. So to have that on, it was a special feeling. Walk around the locker room, people looking at me, they're like, man, you look good in that black and silver, man. So it's a good feeling, and I'm just trying to go out there and make some plays in it now.
Well, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you sitting down with your boy, man.
Yes,
go get
sir.
it this year, brother.
Got you.
Go get it.
And James, you told me after that interview that we could actually see a better Davante Adams. This is a guy that had over 1,500 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns last year. How's it get better?
I know when people hear that, they're going to be scratching their head like, what are they talking about? No, Derek Carr and Davante Adams played together in college. If I play with my college quarterback right now, it's some things that we ran in college. You train with each other all offseason long, and you're just going to see Derek Carr drop back at times and just throw the thing up. Whether it's underhand, overhand, it don't matter. I trust you. Go make the play. So I think we're going to see a better Davante. We don't even know how good he is ability-wise. He has a 40-inch vertical, but we ain't even seen
42.
that. 42,
you took 2 inches
40,
off of it.
maybe I was 42, but 40. But he's a special talent. I think you're going to see every bit of that this year playing with Derek Carr.
Well, you know that every defensive coordinator is going to circle Davante Adams. But if you watch Josh McDaniels' offenses, they work from what? The inside out, right?
They do.
Other weapons are out there on the Raiders that could succeed in this offense. Because of Davante Adams, Derek Carr has a lot of options. And, of course, Darren Waller as a tight end, Hunter Renfrow in the slot. You remember Wes Welker and Julian Edelman and all them? Yeah, they had big years under Josh McDaniels.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, Mac Hollins and Tyron Johnson. So it's not just Davante. That's what's going to make it difficult for defensive coordinators. If you're the Chargers, what do you do? How do you defend this?
Well, you don't, number one. And number two, you have all those weapons that we see on the screen right now. And when it comes to Josh McDaniels, he's moving them all over the place. So you can circle Davante Adams if you want to, but you're going to circle him at 17 different spots. He could be in the backfield. He could be the number 3 receiver, the number 2. He could be motioning. So you're going to have to put a lot of circles on that paper the way Josh McDaniels is using all these weapons. It's going to be tough to stop the Raiders. Whoever plays them, good luck.
You know who has a lot of respect? I mentioned this earlier in the show. Derwin James. Derwin James doesn't play around. He knows who the best receivers are on the team. And when he was asked in the Pivot podcast about some of the best receivers that he has faced, listen what he had to say.
Did you just start a conversation with Tyreek Hill and go to Hunter Renfrow?
No, it's different.
Hunter Renfrow, the encyclopedia salesman.
Yeah, no, there ain't no encyclopedia salesman.
Hunter really liked that.
Turn the film on. You watch film, don't you?
Derwin was dead serious. He wasn't even playing about it. That's how serious his respect for Hunter Renfrow is.
You know what's crazy about that is I was talking to Davante, and he looked at me just the way Derwin is looking at Ryan Clark and Fred Taylor and them boys like, Hunter Renfrow is like that. And if you turn the tape on, he's like that.
He is. He's sneaky, too, and he can be effective in a lot of different ways, maybe even special teams at times. So,
no doubt about it.
Coming up, though, we have a chance to ask the new coach. Coach McDaniels is going to be taking the field for the first time in 11 years as a head coach, although he did win 3 Super Bowls in between. I have to mention that. He's coming up next. Josh McDaniels, right here on Silver and Black. All right, here we go, Coach. It's week 1, and you know, when you think about it, it's been almost 12 years since you stepped on the field as a head coach. Of course, you won 3 Super Bowls as an offensive coordinator in the meantime, but do you covet it more the second time around, now going back out on that field?
Yeah, I do. I've learned a lot, and I'm kind of embracing each opportunity to lead a little differently than I did the first time when I was much younger, and just excited about the opportunity that we have. We have such a great group of people here. I'm at peace with this and super excited to start the season.
January 31st, it's announced that you're the head coach, and you start to put a lot of plans in motion, and it's been plan. Now it's time to execute. What is the biggest challenge of week 1 with all the unknowns, especially against a team like the Chargers that made so many changes themselves?
Yeah, to try not to overdo it. There's always that feeling out process at the beginning of the game. Sometimes it takes a little longer than that. So we're going to try to go in there and know what we want to do, and we'll figure out how the game is flowing, and at some point the game will declare. And once it does, if we have to adjust, then we will. We'll try to do the best thing that we can at that point, but give our players the peace of mind going to bed on Saturday night that they know exactly what we're going to ask them to do so that they can be aggressive and go out there and play fast.
Big test for the offensive line. That's a completely new right side of the offensive line. And game 1, you have Khalil Mack, somebody the Raiders know very well, and Joey Bosa, one of the best coming at you guys from the pass rush standpoint. What makes both of them so good?
They don't take any plays off, and they both have elite skill and toughness. They play really, really hard. There's no shortcuts to this. I said that earlier in the week. They're good players. We have to do our job. We have to be smart with what we're attempting to do on every snap. I mean, we don't certainly want to go back there and just hold the ball for 4 or 5 seconds on every play. We're going to have to change the rhythm of the passing game. We're going to have to make them play the run. You know, there's a lot of ways to try to neutralize defensive players, and but it starts with how we play. You know, we're going to have to do a good job of protecting inside out and being physical with them when we have our opportunities. So got great respect for both of them. Played against them a number of times. They're very disruptive. They got other players that are in the same category, just at different positions. So this is a great unit we're getting ready to face, and we're going to have to play well as an offense, as a group. One
last question. Speaking of versatile running backs, Austin Eckler's on the other side, probably the most versatile running back in the NFL right now. How do you contain somebody like him?
Yeah, it's difficult. He's going to catch the football out of the backfield. They're going to hand it to him. He's going to make some yards. The one thing we're going to have to do really well on Sunday is tackle. He makes a lot of yards when he has the ball in his hands after you miss. And so we're going to need to do a good job as a defense of breaking down, being under control, rallying to the ball, and getting him on the ground. You know, that's going to be very important for us regardless of how he gets it, but we're going to have to do a good job of containing him once he has it.
Well, Coach, good luck week 1. I know a lot of people in Los Angeles excited that the Raiders are playing in Los Angeles. It'll be a fun game to watch, and best of luck this season.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, people forget for 22 years the Raiders were in Los Angeles. We've got to mention kind of a somewhat home game Raider Nation.
Yeah, you know the silver and black coming out. It's gonna be all silver
in Cali, they have the lowriders and the choppers pulling up, all of that.
It's going to be turned up.
Can't wait to see it. And talking about the running game under Josh McDaniels, I know that we can't look at the Patriots and say he'll do the same thing, but he always used versatile running backs himself, always kept a lot of running backs. But one of the things that you mentioned to me about how this offense could work is the way that they have a running back in almost every package.
They do, and that's what you're going to see from Josh. He did it with the Patriots. You better believe the running backs that he kept, Abdullah, Josh Jacobs, White, you better believe they're going to have some packages for these guys to be able to offset the defense. You don't know what's coming at you, right? White come in, we could be running downhill, or we could hit you with the screen game. Josh is a do-it-all back, right? He could catch it and run it downhill. I think Abdullah is going to be that Austin Eckler out of the backfield, being able to catch it, being able to make people miss, get the ball in his hands in space. But it's a lot of weapons on this offense. Josh knows what he's doing. You got really good backs back there that can run it and catch it.
And Josh mentioned to me after that interview, he was talking about when he had Randy Moss in 2007. He was talking about, do you remember kind of what Wes Welker did when I had Randy Moss? So going back to the Hunter Renfrow situation, this is going to be a theme we keep talking about. Look for it. He don't want to give up
too much, but he just
you
wait
just
and see.
He's like, I've done this before. Wes Welker, by the way, had 112 catches that year. Brandon Staley on the other side, Mr. Fourth Down himself. That's how we know I'm going for it on 4th down. He was asked about Derek Carr and facing him.
He's one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. The people know what they're talking about, that know that Derek's an outstanding player. he's as good of a passer as there is just from his stroke. He's got a really pure stroke, very, very accurate, quick release, as sharp as they come at the line of scrimmage. He's got real toughness. You've seen, what his performance is in 2 minute throughout his career. Very complete quarterback, and I have full respect for him. I've been able to compete against him a number of times, and he deserves everyone's full respect because he's earned it.
Derek Carr is certainly dangerous, but that man on the other side is pretty dangerous in his third year. Justin Herbert is expected to be even better. Hasn't led his team to the playoffs like Derek Carr has, but if you take a look at their stats, comparing them, two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, you can see that the yards per attempt, Justin Herbert has the edge just a little bit in completion percentage with Justin Herbert at 60%. And head-to-head games, this is, when they face each other, wins. That's all that matters, right? And that goes to Derek Carr with 2-1. Yeah. But Justin Herbert on the other side, what makes him so dangerous?
Well, number one, our league is in good hands. These two quarterbacks can really spin it. But everything that Staley just said, his quarterback does. Like, Herbert is special at getting the football out of his hands fast. He's special at creating plays, getting outside the pocket, creating plays down the field. He's special at the line of scrimmage. They give him a lot of freedom at the line of scrimmage. He's special at the line of scrimmage. And he reminds me of Derek Carr. When I first met Derek Carr, I was like, this kid is absolutely special at getting the ball out of his hands. He knows exactly what the defense is doing to him. The ball is coming out. He helps everybody around him, the offensive line, the receivers, everybody. That is what Derek Carr does. This is going to be a great matchup. Two quarterbacks going at it that are really special at their position, at throwing the football. You heard Staley say standing in that pocket. Derek Carr is one of the best in the National Football League to do it, and they got one on the other side as well.
Let the AFC West battle begin. Coming up next, right here on the Silver and Black Show, the matchups of the week to watch. That's next. Stick with us. The Silver and Black Show has been brought to you by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now only at Allegiant.com. Chevron with Techron gives you unbeatable cleaning and mileage. Chevron, together ahead.
Okay, you got your contract, you got it, agents tell you this, coaches tell you this, you're playing to get to that second deal. Like, no, I don't care about all that. Like, that's amazing, of course, I want that, but like, it's so much bigger for me. Like, I care about my legacy more than anything on this planet and what I give back to people, and especially just being in Raider Nation. Like, I'm going to my 4th year now, and it's like, I feel like I've been here my whole life, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm part of the family.
Catch more of Max Crosby on the newest edition of the Upon Further Review podcast, hosted by Eddie Pascal and presented by Coors Light. This show focuses on off-the-field stories and interviews all your favorite Raiders players. You definitely don't want to miss that, but you don't want to miss the game because you're going to see some of the best pass rushing duos in the NFL on both sides. It's not just Max Crosby. We all know what he did, especially Week 18. You just remember the motor he had against the Chargers last time. It was like he couldn't stop. But now you add Chandler Jones, who comes over from the Arizona Cardinals. That is a lean. You ever stood next to Chandler? He's lean, big, quick, long. He can get after you, but then the Chargers got their own dudes. Man,
I'm looking at these 4 dudes up there, and I'm like, my goodness, they're about to be on the football field all together. This is going to be a really good defensive battle. And you talked about Chandler Jones. He is so athletic, long, has the reach, able to get to the quarterback anytime he wants. Obviously, number 52, once in the silver and black. Khalil Mack, Defensive Player of the Year, is going to be coming after you. And Bosa, you talk about 2 guys with so many moves and weapons on the outside when it comes to pass rushing ability. And then my brother from another mother, Chandler Jones, just so athletic, so long, so many moves. I mean, the week 1 last year, I mean, he had a field day sacking the quarterback. Yeah. So let's hope and pray that same thing happens this week.
I've always wanted to measure Chandler Jones's wingspan. I got to do that at some point. But Khalil Mack, very familiar. He is very familiar to the silver and black. Of course, he played for the Raiders, so Derek Carr knows him very well. We hope they don't get up close and personal on Sunday. Yeah. But the offensive lines obviously are going to be key for both sides. Do you remember Joey Bosa said last year. If you hit Derek Carr, he gets shook.
Yep.
Do you think that maybe Josh McDaniels maybe put that up as bulletin board material?
Well, I don't think Derek Carr wants to get hit by Bosa anyway. So, for me, what Derek Carr does best, what he's doing in this Josh McDaniels offense is getting the ball out of his hands. Get the ball out of
quickly,
his hands
and it's not a problem.
fast. Let's slow him down with the run game. Let's get into some bunch formations. Let's chip them. Let's let them know we always going to have some eyes on you to slow you down a little bit. And you're going to have to worry about that when you think about flying off this edge to come get our quarterback.
I love that. Hey, what's the matchup to watch for you, the Microsoft Surface matchup of the week?
I'm looking at the run game. I think the running backs, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, whoever runs this ball the best is gonna win this ball game. That's my tip right there. If Josh Jacobs comes out and he's running and catching this football well, slowing down that pass rush, keeping the offense on the field, and they're finishing with touchdowns, the Raiders got a really good chance to win in this game. If they cannot stop Austin Eckler on the other side of the football and he's able to run and have his way, it's gonna be tough to stop that Chargers offense, and the Raiders could possibly be looking at a long day. So these two running backs, it's on you.
For me, it is the interior defensive line of the Chargers. We talk a lot about their ends. We talk a lot about their pass rush. Remember, this was a team that could not stop the run last year. That was one of the problems they had. Well, they go out and they get Sebastian Joseph Day. That was a very big free agent signing. So they're trying to plug up the middle. And so we'll see if Josh Jacobs is able to run on them. And you know that McDaniels is going to try to do that early. That's what he wants to do. James, are you ready for game day?
I'm ready. I wish it was today. I'm ready to get at it.
It's been fun. For James Jones, I'm Amber Theoharis. A 4:25 p.m. Eastern kickoff live from SoFi Stadium. It is week 1, baby. We'll see you next time.